This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Stellick,
Here.
Poe, Nikki, Lewis,
Here.
Wilson,
Here.
Labar, Luther,
Here.
Peterson.
Here. If everybody had a minute to read over the agenda, any changes, modifications? No? Okay. Approval of prior meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve those.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Business? Meeting schedule? Anybody have issues with the upcoming meeting dates?
Nope, I'll make a motion to accept those.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And then fees?
Yeah, it's really the only thing I wanted to talk about is adjusting the fee schedules and the rates for everything. So I wanted, before we go to budget here at the end of February, I wanted to make sure everyone here was involved and everyone's got a chance to look it over and make sure that it's as fair as it can possibly be. I've been doing a deep dive into the budget and fee schedule for all the way back to 1999. And it has been 11 years since slip fees have changed. And just as long, if not longer, since the boat ramp launch fees have changed. And I found that the last time they were changed, it was a completely arbitrary change, and the entire boat launch pass system seems to be relatively one-sided, considering most of our boat launch passes come from people who are out of town. I would like it to make it more fair and more accessible to more people throughout the Tri-County area, as well as creating a system that allows people who are vacationing here for a weekend or a week at a time and come up here to go diving or fishing or boating in general in Thunder Bay, the opportunity to purchase, I suppose, weekend and week-long and other types of boat launch passes if they're not going to stay at the marina or pay a daily launch fee for the time they're here. So I hope you all have had enough time to review everything. If not, I think budget meeting's on the 28th for the marina, I think. Yeah, and so I've got until then to change it.
So is this going to be in effect for this coming season?
No, not until next year. I want to say the changes will go into effect probably either November 1st or January 1st. Most likely January.
Even the launching fees?
Yeah, everything.
Hey, Kevin,
Yes, sir.
so the revenue derived from all the fuel, the slip fees and the launching fees, boats on the hard, and the lift fees that the city receives, does that money pay for the upkeep of the harbor itself? Or is that's limited to, because there's a part of the harbor is a park. So what do you do with all those fees? Is that pushed back into the harbor?
So all of those are typically used for grant matches and maintaining the harbor proper, and essentially keeping it running. I think Shannon a few years ago did a rough estimate, and I think she found that annually, and this was 2 years ago, not taking inflation or anything else into consideration, it costs about $490,000 per year to keep the marina running and functional. And we are pulling in anywhere between $450,000 to $460,000. So we're a little bit behind the ball. It's really not too bad. But as far as anything else, we actually have, let's see. So the launch docks at the marina, launch docks at North Riverfront Park, the kayak launch at Duck Park, the kayak or the boat launch at 11th Avenue, and we are looking at, and people want 2 more boat launches, one at SciTech and one at Washington Avenue Park. And of all of these boat launches, we are only allowed to charge a fee for the marina and North Riverfront Park, but every other boat launch that we have within the city limits is the responsibility of the city to maintain, and it's getting very, very expensive. I think per dock, we're looking at roughly $1,500 to $2,000 per dock in materials alone. That doesn't take into consideration time and labor. So we just need to figure out a system that will be as fair as possible for the most amount of people as possible while still maintaining the city's ability to keep everything in good repair.
So the 450,000 in expenses, what would they be, like for this next summer, where is that money going to go? I guess on the budget, I couldn't really tell. What allocated that 450,000 going to go into what exactly?
Do you have any idea? It's just,
I mean,
it's,
all wages and salaries.
yeah, everything.
Well, like what percent of the, and so like what percent would that be salaries? How many people we have employed there? Like the kids on the dock base, that's gotta be a pretty big number, right?
We've got 2 full-time DPW employees right now.
Okay.
Anywhere from
Benefits with insurance.
benefits and insurance, and then anywhere from 6 to 8 to possibly 9 seasonals every year. And then there's me. And then utilities and upkeep, all the equipment that it costs to run we need to use for the marina, like the lawnmowers, the trucks, the tools, all of the supplies that it takes to run the marina. We've got to take probably 15,000 of that every year just for deck boards.
Mm-hmm.
So it all gets spent right back in the marina, and usually whatever's left over, if there's anything left over, it goes to grant matches so we can keep making the marina better.
We pay ourselves equipment rent as well. So anytime a piece of equipment's used, it gets billed back. And then other PW employees, when they go and help, they get charged to the marina line.
Quite often.
Why can't we charge fees at the other launches?
So the other launches were, so the one at Duck Park, I know was purchased with Thunder Bay River Center Board. Did they get a grant for that, or did they just fundraise it themselves? So that one was purchased most likely with like a public recreation grant. And so we can't really charge fees to use that. And plus the city didn't pay for it, so it's not really like cool, you know?
Yeah, but still it must be a fee there must be a fee for maintenance, right? Maintenance
Yes,
is
there is. That comes out of the marina fund, or at least when it's there.
Yeah.
And then the one at 11th Avenue, same thing, that was purchased with a public recreation grant from the DNR, so we can't necessarily charge for that either, kind of like the fish cleaning station. Purchased with public funds, can't charge a fee for it.
There's no match on any of that?
Not from us.
So like the
I think-
docks, we got a grant for that, but because we had to match, we can charge.
Yeah. Like the fish cleaning station was a joint effort really between the Steelheaders Club and the DNR. I think our grant match was where it went.
Probably in kind or property or.
Yeah. So, and that's well before my time.
Guess it seems weird you can't charge a fee for upkeep
Yeah, we do think,
because it was given to you.
even after an amortization of it's depreciated to zero, now it's not worth anything, now we're maintaining it on our dollar
Right.
Mhm.
at a certain point.
Yeah, that's what it's all gonna get captured in your launch fees, and your dock fees, and your, those kinds of things. You gotta-
Yeah.
Well, it's just weird to charge. I'll never launch my boat in the river.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we gotta subsidize
Right.
the kayakers.
For now. Yeah.
When you say for now, like when would that amortization hit zero and now we can charge for it? Like,
Yeah. I have no idea. The one at Duck
Someone
Park.
comes and checks on, Mishikiwa's, warming shelter that was done in 1978, I think. They come and check on that every 2-3 years and see if it's still up and still being used for the public and all that. It's just,
my question is like, we should maybe have like a city launch pass? Like, you buy the pass, it's good for all the launches? We say like, should be something, you can buy some kind of sticker for your kayak, throw it in our public launches.
Yeah. That is something.
Be anything substantial, but
Like I've been knocking around something like that for a while. And the feedback I got from some of the people who enforce these things
So they can't enforce it.
is that they can't enforce it.
well, it's like in a license on your dog.
Yeah.
right.
So, I mean, we,
If there's a problem.
yeah, we ask for it. Is it completely followed? No, but it's on the books. And I think this could end up be that same thing.
Yeah.
Charge $5 for a city parks fee. We can use your launches. And as that money's like growing, then maybe we could do something cooler with it too. Not just,
If you live, you're a city resident, maybe you don't need it. But if you're coming from
Yeah.
outside the city to use the city's resources, then there's a fee.
maybe have people just like register their kayak. You register your kayak within the city, you get the sticker. If you're not from the city, you got to get a sticker and go pay $5 to get it. And then your kayak's registered. People will be like, "Oh, my kayak's safe now. It's registered." I like the idea. If you're in the city, just go prove that you're a city resident and get your little sticker.
But I do get it's hard to enforce.
Very.
Boats are easy because there's generally a trailer there.
Yeah. Sometimes. If I'm lucky.
Well, if we could get 100 launch fees a year out of it, I mean, out of city residents and all that. Put
Yeah.
up a little sign. I don't know if you guys can collect what. That'd be $500 a year. Every 3 years, you could replace one of those docks.
Yeah.
You could always put it at those other ramp fees, just put a little box for donations.
Yeah.
For maintenance. See what happens. You got,
And they do like those rustic campground tags. Like sometimes you got to just fill out your own little ticket and
Yeah.
Stick it in.
mm-hmm.
What do you want to change the launch fees to exactly? What is your proposal?
He's got it down.
It's right there on the back.
Bottom there.
See it on the back there.
It's right after shortly after the slip fee.
Is it a mooring? More than 10 boats? $8 a day? Is that it?
Yeah.
35 seasonal, 25 weekly.
And I think that could be where like this new schedule, like where a lot of this kind of stuff would come from, because I would really like to get rid of the city resident discount and then also giving away a free launch permit to whoever has already purchased one.
I think the thought behind that was you can't use two boats at once, right?
Yeah.
So the usage is like per household almost.
Yeah, no, I get it. But we give away a little bit too much.
So why don't you want to give a cut to city residents?
Because it's not fair to the vast majority of people who use the docks.
But it's like state parks, it's cheaper if you're a Michigan resident to go to the state park. People that aren't
Yeah.
in Michigan, it's more expensive. So I think there's a thought that, don't we pull money out of the general fund sometimes for things at the marina? So city residents are paying into the general fund.
Most every year because the marina's not solvent.
Isn't that a thought on why maybe there'd be a cut to people who are paying those taxes in?
Yeah. But the whole plan and idea is for the marina to be solvent so that we don't have to take money from the city.
So I guess my thought is make it 35 for city residents and 40 for everybody else. Raise it up
Yeah.
accordingly, but still make it seem like, hey, you're in the city, we're giving you a cut. Because then you won't have people trying to, I don't know, that's already makes sense, but I don't know. I feel like everybody gives a city discount for things, right?
It was $35 for city residents for 25 years without a complaint. And then I believe people started complaining when it was arbitrarily switched to $50. And then 2 years after that, it got switched to half off for city residents and buy one, get one free boat launch permits.
It's most likely the people who would do the BOGO deal are people in the city.
Actually, no.
Really?
Most of them come from out of city residents. Most of the people who use the launches in general come from outside of the city limits.
We also have thoughts?
I don't know. To me, it just seems like $35 is cheap.
Yeah, that's why I was fine with making.
It is.
Like,
I agree, though. It seems like residents should have a little more of an advantage. So the 35, then 40, or
Some sort of tiered system still,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, 35, I mean,
yeah,
I'm paying $35 to launch my boat, so.
and still change it. So that's why we're here.
So when people are getting this second launch for free, or included, the buy one, get one deal, is that like, could I buy one and just give one to my friend? Because now I got the sticker on my trailer?
That does happen. So, yeah. I mean, you shouldn't be, but it does happen.
I would say maybe why don't you go to like half off on the second launch and get rid of the buy one, get one? You
How
buy-
many buy one, get ones do you think there are?
Looking through some of the information we have from this past year, roughly, I want to say like 40, 50 maybe. So I haven't had time to like count every
Right.
single
If
page.
you're gonna say 10, I would say, well, it's not even an issue, but 40 or 50 is a good amount.
yeah, I would have to imagine
Like I
a lot of
have,
people don't realize you can do that. And
yeah,
what you and I were buddies, we each had a boat. Like, hey, you buy it and I'll give you half, and you.
oh, it happens.
Right.
It definitely happens. I mean, I get it. Why wouldn't it?
It's only going to get worse, I think.
But yeah, I still haven't even gotten the sheets from the water department. I haven't grabbed them out of the fuel shed. Or where's the other place we send the clerk's office? And then is there one more place? I think that's it. But yeah, like these are the only I've only looked at the files that we have in the engineering office.
Okay.
With the buy one, get one, is that, I proposed a second one for half off, or eliminating that. I mean, that's
I would love to get rid of
it.
the buy one get one altogether.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would never think of me and Wayne sharing a second pass to save.
I'm thinking
$12, but-
about us people who get 2 slips. Buy one, get one free.
No.
So and I think the answer is that
Get
no,
rid of it.
yeah. For $35 or $40.
I mean, actually, if you put your Ingling over on a courtesy dock, you can get that one for free.
Technically, you use both docks at the same time. I can't launch. It's hard to launch 2 boats at the same time.
Will your wife can launch one?
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with getting rid of the BOGO deal. I don't.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because
You're gonna be the one
that
dealing
gets
with it,
rid of the
so-
abuse.
Yeah.
And for the 10 honest people, they might complain a little bit, but
Yeah. But still, like, so Rick, I'm sorry, what were you gonna say?
I just said I agree.
Oh, okay. So Rick actually emailed me back about the whole thing, and he did not like. He thought $40 for a boat pass was too high, and he felt the same about BOGO. Not necessarily 50% off, but he did say that if the boat launch pass was going to be $40 for a seasonal, he feels as though it's a money grab, but he's all right with it. And well, I don't want to lie.
No, it's-
Yeah,
I'm just,
and then he suggested charging like 10 or $15 for the second pass was what.
Do we know like what are launch fees? What does it cost at Long Lake?
$35 for the whole year. And that gets you into every single county boat launch. It's all 3 of them. So granted, based on economics, location, and number of launches alone, we should really be charging $50 for everybody for a season boat launch pass. But I understand that will be met with a lot of public backlash. And so I've been bouncing between 35 and $40. And so I'm looking for some input.
I'd
You know
say
what it
$40.
40. What does it cost at Presque Isle to launch?
I want to say it's like $50.
50 but you get the state
Yeah.
launch pass.
so does that let you launch anywhere in the state then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or does it come with your Parks and Recs, like your,
The sticker on your.
yeah, that launch isn't included?
No, that is a separate $11.
So,
It's
you know,
$40 to get
I
to
guess
Presque Isle.
if you're like, maybe like Rick or some of these people who go
All over.
around, okay, now maybe they're spending a couple $100 a year
Yeah.
for all these launch fees, but
Which is kind of why I want to keep it as fair as possible for
But
the most number of
I guess
people.
I don't feel like $40, especially with inflation and, you know, we know the cost of maintenance and stuff. I guess I don't feel like that it's been $35 basically for forever, right?
Since at least 1999.
Yeah, so
But I don't think,
I'm for making it $40 and there's no,
Just for everybody?
yep, for everybody and there's no
No BOGO?
BOGO. That's my vote.
There's
I
no
mean,
way to like track the stickers. There's not like a number where they can tie it back to a person or anything like that.
There are.
Number on it? Yeah.
They're numbered.
So does the sticker go on your boat or?
Goes on a trailer.
Goes on the trailer, not the boat. It's supposed to be on the upright arm on the trailer.
Who enforces those? Is that
If it's at the marina, me.
Okay.
If it's anywhere else, police officer has to be there. And they're
That's-
during the summer,
yeah?
pretty busy.
you know,
Then
people
actually-
are in expensive boats. I don't see where $40 should be a problem. It's $40 and you got a nice bass boat or whatever else you have. I mean, you got to get
no,
fuel, you got everything else. It's very reasonable.
I'm right there with you.
Let's just do it.
The most reasonable for the most amount of people.
Wayne, is yours a motion?
I'll make a motion that the season pass for the Alpena Marina is $40.
You want to approve all this other junk too, the 25 weekly and,
Sure. That
Everything else
includes
as
all the
presented?
other things in there too. Yeah.
okay, so all we're doing is changing his proposal from 35 to 40.
And then the paragraph after,
Get rid of that.
And no BOGO or whatever that's called, right?
Oh, BOGO's going to, I just,
Anybody else have any thoughts, concerns?
40's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, there's your motion.
how about seasonal fees?
Those could be half.
So those haven't changed in 11 years. And when they were changed 11 years ago, they got cheaper.
Well, it's a significant increase there.
Yeah, what if we like staggered that? Do,
Which,
we'll get to that in 2 years? Like increase it and then increase it again.
So I actually spent probably 2 days doing the math, and this is about the most fair thing I can come up with, going from rate 8 to rate 7. I've also spent quite some time talking with the rest of the marinas around here, and Rogers City is going from rate 8 to rate 7 either next year or the year after that. They are also full and have a wait list. Presqu'île is rate 8 right now. Lene said they'll be going to rate 7 in 2 to 3 years. They also have a wait list. And Tawas is, I believe, rate 7 already and also has a wait list. So bumping from rate 8 to rate 7 and then doing all of the special math to take into consideration everybody's boat size and everything, like they are, for not having changed in more than 11 years, the rates are incredibly fair. I will defend that, but I am open to other ideas. I don't really know how much we can get into like a tiered system. The state really wants most grant and aid harbors to be changing their rates every 3 to 5 years. So we would be having these rates for essentially 3 to 5 years. And I would have to double check, but I'm roughly 95% certain they are still cheaper than what they were before they got cheaper. So like they're still cheaper than what it was 11 years ago when it was more expensive than what it is now. If that makes sense.
And this is the rate 7 that we're going to?
We're at rate 8 currently, and we do some fun math because we are technically supposed to be charging for slip size and not boat size. So we do some fun math. We take the averages of all of the slip lengths that are called out in the seasonal rate schedule from the state, and then we get the average, and that's what that's essentially charged. And so for you though, I don't know if you read it or not, but if you sign a commercial agreement that I have with the city, then as a commercial boater, you would get 10% off your slip. So I'm trying to do my best to make it fair, and to give a lot of the local businesses that operate out of the marina a better shot at being successful. It's just, I also have to balance what the state is telling me I should do, where the marina is and where the marina should be with user expectations. I want to say I have all the rates on my desk if anybody wants to read them.
so are most places charging by the dock length, not the boat length?
Yes, sir.
What happens if we just switch to that,
It gets really expensive.
even with the current rates?
Yes. Unless you have a 16-foot boat.
Which nobody does.
Nope.
So Rogers City is charging by the slip, not by the boat length.
I believe they are. I would have to double check with Caleb, but I believe they do charge for the slip length.
What are most of our slips? Or what's the,
We have 25-foot slips, 40-foot slips, 50-foot slips, and 60-foot slips. I also have all of that on my desk too. So if you have a boat that can fit in a 25-foot slip, it's pretty cheap.
Right.
But everything else, I want to say, all of those slips for those 50-footers over there are, even in rate 8, right around $3,500.
do you
I
pay right
don't
now,
see
Wayne?
them increasing the rates.
Pay like 17 something for the,
1702,
and then
True.
it's 13 something for the,
1350. We have for boats that are 32 feet or less, it's 1,350. For boats that are between 32 feet and 38 feet, it is 1,702. For boats that are between 38 and 45, it is $2,295. And for boats that are between 45 feet and 60 feet, it is 3,120.
It's gonna get more expensive if you do that swim platform too.
no, because that won't put me over 38. So cut off a foot down to that 32.
Make it retractable.
Uh,
I mean, I don't know, it's a big, I mean,
it's a pretty big jump, but, you know, I understand that, costs have gone up and so it's like $400 for me.
you charge more for the newer slips.
Rogers,
Those be rate 7 and the Prentice Street's rate
The
8.
rest of them 8. I want to say I do have that much leeway. Yeah. But then it gets back to what's fair for the most amount of people and most of the users. What are you saying, Brian?
Rogers City charges $1.60 a foot for transient, no matter what dock you're on.
They're more expensive than us then. We're $1.34 right now.
Rogers City will give you stay 2 nights, get 1 free.
Yep.
I mean, it's a wash, but
Yeah.
I think we should just go to the new schedule as proposed.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. So I'll make a motion that we go to the new rate schedule as proposed.
I'll second.
And I could still play around with numbers if
No, let's close it out.
Yeah. Be done with it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
he doesn't get to vote.
you can say
Don't
aye.
tell him that.
Who doesn't get to vote? Me?
You.
Oh, shit.
No, you're not here.
Oh, I'm not, I don't even count in the quorum?
No,
No.
you can drink a beer during it though.
Yeah.
All
Gotta
right.
get
I'll
another COVID crisis, then you could.
vote. Yeah, damn it.
Yeah.
Maybe next.
Bird flu.
So is the transient slips changing?
Yep. Going from rate D to rate E. So moving one up. And I think then we'll actually be comparable to Rogers City.
no, they charge by the foot for their seasonal slips.
So they do charge by boat length?
Yeah. By the foot, not like how we have like a range.
Yeah.
There's increases incrementally by the foot.
So is it so much per foot? Where is it?
It's like
Figure you get more.
$52 a foot. It starts at 20.
For their seasonal?
That's quite a bit less than,
Well,
it's less than what I'd be paying.
you should take yours up there.
Can't. They're full.
Trade with somebody up there. They come down here.
maybe, but they do have a wait list. I actually tried sending some people on our wait list up there, but Caleb said no.
Okay, so this puts us, the transient, like in line with everybody else.
Will be in the coming years, yeah.
We think we should be cheaper than everybody else, try to get people to come here.
No, not at all. So, funny thing about recreation, the more expensive things are, the more attractive it is to other people.
I don't know if that's necessarily true.
For recreation, it is.
Again, with these transients, you got to get them to come 10 miles in and 10 miles back out.
And we are working on a few different things that will hopefully help with that. But in all honesty, having come from multiple campgrounds and another marina, the more you charge, the more interested people get. Technically, 2 other marinas, now that I'm thinking about it.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's,
We need a motion for
You want a motion?
that. I'll make a motion that we accept rate E schedule for transient flip rates.
second.
All in favor? Opposed? Oh, okay.
I'm in favor.
Okay, there's all your slip fees, right? Oh, we got to do storage too? Lift?
I still have
Do
to
you have any-
talk with Arlie and read about all of that.
We want to make sure they keep getting paid.
Yeah, yes, I do. I actually think I've been giving them favorable enough contracts that the mayor got mad at me.
Well, we need Arlie and Reed very desperately at their key people.
Yes, sir. I'm aware. That is why I want to keep them around.
Anything else on fees? Okay. Harbor Masters report, anything else?
This is all I've been doing. I've been working on the budget, fees, upgrades and plans for the upcoming season. And that's
What are your upgrades and plans?
well, first order of business when the ice goes away is we have to get back in there and finish up connecting the water lines on the flagpole side and then getting all the old bubbler lines out before people start launching in May. So that's going to be a very interesting April. And then we are going to be moving forward with the remodel of the Boaters Lounge and bathrooms this year. So an RFP for that is going to go out, I'm hoping by March 1st or 2nd council meeting in March, somewhere in there. And then with any luck, that'll be done by the end of the year, or it'll be easy enough that they'll be able to shut it down after the marina closes and not bother too many people with it. And then just kind of working with all of the other groups and stuff that are operating out of the marina. Like I've been putting together a contract or at least a working kind of agreement for youth sailing. I've been putting together a similar contract with the Sea Scouts because apparently they are going to be much more active at the marina this year. And then just making sure that the marina runs smoothly. Arlie and Reed have everything they need to be successful, and that the new co-op down there has everything they need to be successful, and so they can grow and make the marina better. And then hopefully, depending on what happens with the upcoming budget, we'll have enough money to start improving all of the unused green space throughout the marina. So we'll hopefully be adding that patio section in, Getting a few more picnic tables for throughout the marina, some sunshades and all that kind of stuff, and so on and so forth. Tackling a lot of the little stuff that's been let go for some time.
Okay.
And just essentially kind of ironing out the details on all of that and when to start, how to do it, what we'll need, so on and so forth. And painting the flagpole. That came up recently too.
That's Steve's thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got your paintbrush?
Hey, I'm just, hey, is Steve there?
No.
Yes,
Yes, he is.
Yeah. So, hey, Steve, you got to send me an email on how much the city's gonna contribute, then I'll hit up everybody else for some cash.
That's
Me?
that's for you to decide.
Oh,
Yeah, Kevin's got a budget, so.
we should be good for at least that 2,700. But it all depends on what happens February 28th.
It's 2,700 to come out of this year's budget.
Oh, well then we should be able to. Yeah.
2,700 is the number? Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll get the rest. We'll get that done.
Okay.
Any public comment? Member comment?
I have a question, Steve, and this is kind of harbor advisory related, but the flag. Exchange Club is going to donate a flag or two. And I had a scatterbrained idea that could we put up maybe something a little smaller and fly something year round, a smaller one in the wintertime? I know it'll get the beat to hell, but
Yeah.
Any size.
I mean, if we had one, would the city take care of it? I mean, put it up and do whatever it needs to happen with it.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I can check with Shannon.
all out on this pun. I'm gonna say, we'll run it up the flagpole.
Okay.
Rachel, and I'll get Shannon's input on it too, and just see, but yeah.
And, you know, so I don't
It'll
know,
take a beating.
I don't know how much smaller you could go and still make it look good would be
Right,
one
yeah,
of
it's gonna
the
look funny
things.
up there if you get
Yeah.
too small.
Right. So if you went like maybe a third smaller or something, that might last a little longer. We're still gonna do the
Yeah.
full, we're gonna do the same size one
The wind
anyway.
action isn't gonna be as bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And the cost is a little less too, so. All right.
Even the reinforced nylon ones, they're torn to shreds in 3 months.
Yeah. So anyway,
Well,
Brad might be able to like reinforce them somehow. He said he'd be able to repair them,
yeah.
so he might be able to reinforce them in such a way that they last 4 months. And that's most of a full season.
Right. Okay, that's my public comment, kind of.
Is there a reason we didn't disconnect the docks this year and pull them up?
Yeah, you don't need to. They're floating docks.
What did we do in the past?
I don't know.
They just all are,
Yeah.
they're all torqued to hell right now. They seem worse than they were before the freeze. The ones on Prentice Street.
Okay. That'll be fine.
Okay. But it's been a topic that's been brought up. The spuds are terrible. They're all
They're
torqued.
gone. Half of those things don't have, I think there's like 2 docks that had spuds.
Remember in prior meetings, you were going to get somebody from NOAA to pull them so they could be.
Oh, that was, those were the ones on the 400 side over by the fuels pumps. Not Prentice Street. And so we'll see where the ones over there are. And like, that's the funny thing is the ones on Prentice Street, they look weird right now, but the ones over on the fuel dock side, those all have spuds and they don't get pulled out anywhere every year. So I don't know why they were pulled up. But with a floating dock, you shouldn't need to. That is actually, thank you for bringing it up, but that is actually another plan that Shannon and I are working on. So in the coming years, we can actually disassemble 1 or 2 docks at a time after the marina closes, but before everything freezes, so that they can take them over to DPW and start rebuilding them. And then it'll all be nice again for roughly maybe a quarter of the price of what it would cost to replace them with brand new.
Yeah, I just feel like all those docks are pretty bad now.
A lot of them lost their
They don't have
flotation.
flotation at the end, and
Spuds are gone.
All the styrofoam. So that's actually the big plan, is that we would get them over to DPW. They'd spend like a week or so drying out, flip them over, remove all of the galvanized metal, and then get rid of all of the mostly probably rotten styrofoam and stuff that's under there, and put the heavy duty plastic buoys under there, cover them back up and put them back in. And then like take a minute to look over the actual wood and all the hardware and make sure all that's good, and just essentially kind of rebuild them to get another few years out of them.
and then are there going to be any boats on the Hard in the spring that need to get?
There'll be at least one. I actually got a spot for the Australias, so I was able to place his boat, so that was cool. But there will be at a minimum, I'm hoping it's the only boat, but it should just be that one sailboat that's at the right next to the entrance.
Which one's that?
No idea what it's called, but I want to say it's got like it's a white sailboat, and I think it's a blue cover, but that one's not going anywhere.
That's all I got. Anybody else?
Why so?
The person who owns it owes the city like $6,000 for it.
Is that the one that was damaged and they've been working on it? Oh, okay.
So I'm actually going to be in the process of seizing that one in the next month or two. So
Then I'm not sure we ever talked about after brown trout. Said like every year they bust irrigation lines and all that stuff driving.
yeah,
Is it another
yeah.
round of that?
It wasn't turned on, so it wasn't that bad, and we were able to locate and fix it within, I want to say, about a month of testing all of the lines. But they did pop an irrigation line again.
Is there any more discussion with them to
Ongoing.
keep stuff from happening?
Is ongoing.
Can we ask them to use like 5-gallon buckets
They're-
of concrete or something instead
Yeah.
of driving them in?
Yeah. They parked their camper right over everything.
Okay.
So when your irrigation line is only 4 inches below grade,
Doesn't take much.
no, sir, it does not. So it's an ongoing discussion. Phil is not the greatest at getting back to me during winter. So, and I'm sure I'll see him in the spring.
Any staff comments? No? All right, next meeting is March 6th. Pretty good. Okay. We need a motion to adjourn.
I think so.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Good meeting. I'll see everyone in a couple weeks.
Have a good one.
See you, Steve.
See ya.